So this is the Prado head unit for the 2014 to the 2017 model. Just covering what you get in the kit first. So there's like a number of like wires here. So we've got an external microphone plugged into the mic port, and you just like run this above the steering wheel or into the sun visor, somewhere easier, just to get like the mic closer to your to where you speak from, close to your mouth. External Wi-Fi antenna. This screws into the back of the head unit into the Wi-Fi port. Just means if you do want to run an external device, like a Wi-Fi camera on a caravan or something, you can run this up the top and actually stick it on the windscreen. But for like most uses, you're just going to leave it like floating loose behind the head unit. It's a third USB plug. This is just handy for extra like accessories that we'll be running out in the future, like dash cams and TPMS. USB retention cable. It's going to plug into your car, and like this will plug into our USB cables. It just allows you to use the current factory USB plug on your vehicle. Two USB plugs and a mic. So one of these will be plugged into the factory retention one, and the other one you can plug into like the rocker switch plug that this comes with too. So this will fit into your Prado rocker switches just to tidy up, give you another second USB. This is your reverse camera input cable. You'll be plugging the current original OEM reverse camera into this purple cable, and the wires here are for if you want to run a separate front camera. And you've got video in and auxiliary in cables. You will not be using these. If you are running aftermarket like speakers or an amp in the future, you'll be using this pre-out cable. But most installers won't use it if you're just running the factory setup. The hazard cover. GPS, so the unit runs its own GPS. Plugs in the back of the head unit. You can just mount this on top of the head unit itself. Trim removal tools, just allows you to pop off fascias easily, plastic parts in your dash. These adapter kit, so this is going to plug into your factory plugs. The CAN bus module, which like allows it to talk to the car's network. An OBD2 scan tool, which just allows you to pick up data and like check and clear faults from your engine ECU, so that can connect to the head unit. And then the head unit itself. You can see there's all the auxiliary plugs. You have the Wi-Fi, the FM antenna, GPS, the main harness plug, and like the front of the unit here. So that covers everything that's in the kit. So this is what your factory head unit should look like, 2014 to 2017. Some 2013s will have these too. So if it was like the new version of 2013, we do notice sometimes have these head units. So this will fit this one here. First thing you need to do is just like pop off the aircon here. So you use your trim removal tool that comes in the kit for that. I'll just put a bit of tape down just so you don't like damaging your plastic that you're touching on. You don't have to do that because these are soft tools anyway. You can see that I've just started to pop that off. Then like the rest of it you can just pull off with your hands. And there's just a plug in the back here. Pull that out. It's the aircon off. Now if you see up in here, 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm nuts, that screws that just need to come out. Now those 4 screws are out. you just want to give the complete unit a little pull. So if you put your hands around, just like side, and just give it a pull, a little like wiggle, and it'll come out quite easily. Now in the back here, these are all the plugs we have, so all these are going to be unplugged. So majority of them just have a little push clip on top, so you push it down and pull out the plug. So we'll pull all those out. So as easy as that, the old unit's removed. And those are all the cables currently hanging out. And this is the old unit. So we're going to be using a couple things from this. We're using the air vents. So you can see in here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 clips you need to get into to pop out, which we'll show in a second. And we're also going to be using the hazard switch, which comes out of here, which will show that as well. So you're going to remove the factory air vents out of it. So in here you can see these little clips, plastic clips down there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like 3 on each air vent. I find the easiest way is just to start at one side and like pop them off one at a time, and you can keep them popped off by putting your hand underneath and putting pressure on the actual air vents. You need to pull the tabs back quite a bit. You'll be able to see when you can see the actual tabs popped out, and then just give this a good push out and you'll see that the factory air vent comes out. The other thing you need to pop off is all the yellow clips. So you can see they are around the head unit here. The other thing I want to take out is the hazard switch here, so it's just got little clips in the back, hazard connector I should say, so that pops out like that. And we're just going to pop out the switch down here. So to pop out the factory hazard switch here, there's just clips on both ends. Just push them both in with a screwdriver, and then the switch just pushes out the front of the unit. Alright, so we've taken all our parts off the factory head deck. Now first thing I'm going to do is put the aircon vents back in. Can't go too wrong here, they're obviously going to go in the only way they can go, the angle going the same way. Slide them in over. And just make sure the clips on the top will line up. And you'll see, just give a good push down and you'll hear it all clip in. So there's the factory air vents in, so the clips do slide over there and over the other end in the same spot. Next, take all the clips you've taken off and just put them on to the new frame. Now the factory hazard switch, just need to pop off the switch face. So just get a flathead screwdriver or a small tool in there, and you just have to lift up the tabs on both sides, and that pops off like that. And the new hazard switch will just slide onto here. So do make sure you put it on the right way. So black side facing away from us, the hazard switch is pointing down with the curved corner up here. And clip that on, and the hazard switch will just slot in through here. They can only go in one way, so you just give that a good push through, and give it a pull, and you can see we have a hazard switch installed here now. Plug our small switch here back into it. That's everything installed from the original unit that we have to put on this unit. Now let's get our ease adapter kit here with the cam module on it. So basically I'm just going to go through here and match the plugs up. So they can only fit into what they can actually fit into here, so you can't go too wrong. And this one here was from our hazards. This here was from the aircon. This plug here is for the factory USB, which we'll put a cable in soon. This one here is for the units like GPS, which we won't be using because our unit has its own GPS. So we're going to tape that up out of the way. Let's get the rest of our cables here. So we've got the USB retention cable. Plugs into this one. That means we can still use this USB that you have down here. Then the other end of this is going to plug into our two USBs and our mic cable. So you can choose which one you plug it into. So I'm going to plug into the one that says like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's like a wired version there. Like most people use like wireless anyway, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That's plugged into there. Now on here, the other one we have is like labelled up called like mic. So into that, in your kit you have an external mic, which is right here, which just plugs into this. But first I'm going to run the mic above the steering wheel. For the mic, it's handy just use a little piece of like wire or plastic just to help you tuck it through places. Tucked it up here, and you can see it's just coming through just up in here, so we'll pull it out there. Just run that mic through, you can see it there. That plugs into the like mic plug I was talking about before. Make sure you give it a good push, and you'll hear it go click. That's connected. Then we'll pull all this through. We'll tidy it up at this end. Just give the surface a clean wherever you're going to put this down, and just give this a good push down and hold it down for 30 seconds to mount the mic. See, that's the mic sitting down there, so quite tidy, can't really see it from the driver's position. Next we've got our grey 6-pin camera input cable. So you're just looking for this one here, a purple cable with an RCR on it called cam in. Now what you want to do is you want to take your main harness here and find the RCA that is plugged into something. So you can see this RCA is plugged in to the car's like unit. There is a second RCA here that isn't plugged into anything. So like this is for like a different like model. So we don't want to use this one. We want to use this one. So that plugs in to the cam in, just like that. Now we've just got our rocker switch that the kit comes with. Just allows a tidy USB port. Grab the trim tool and slide it under one of these to pop it out. Now this end here needs to plug into one of our USB ports. So we're going to run USB like a cable through from this side, and you can see I've just like pushed it and then popped it out up here. And now this one here that says like a 3G USB on it, I'm going to plug into here. So that's plugged into there. And then we're just going to push this USB port back into place. Clips in like that and gives you a tidy USB second option there just in your panel switch. So just a couple of things we'll put on. Now the GPS, spin it onto the one that says GPS above it. Do it up hand tight. Obviously have it facing like this way so you can still get the plug in the bottom. It does say GPS up there. Peel off the stick pad behind it here. And this, because there isn't any plastic on this like model, you can just put this straight on top of the head unit. Just don't put it above any of the air vents. So give that a good press down. These are the air vents I was talking about. Give that a good press down, and that is like stuck on. You can spin on the Wi-Fi antenna. Again, same thing. This here you can just leave floating behind the head unit unless you need it extended for some reason. Then I would run the extension cable up and I stick it high up in the car. That's if using a Wi-Fi camera or something like that. Our third USB port has the purple plug here. This just plugs into the back, and you can just keep it there for future use. When we add on something extra, we want something extra added onto your system. Alright, so now what we'll do is we'll just we'll plug all the plugs in and rest the head unit here and just check everything is working. So your 20-pin black plug here is going to plug into this side of the head unit. And the other main one you are after is your video one. It's the grey 6-pin. That's going to plug into the back on this side here. Make sure you put it in the right plug. They can only fit where they fit, but just make sure you put it in the right area. And last but not least, there'll be an antenna floating around here, which is right here. I'll pull through here. And plug into the antenna port. The thing you have to do here, which the other cable workshop should be unplugged on the majority of harnesses now. But on here, there's a small black plug that has to be unplugged. So if you look in here, you can see it. It says reverse in on both sides. See that plug there? Please make sure you unplug that plug. We should have done that before we turned it on. So just make sure you unplug that reverse in plug. On your kit, on newer kits now, it should be unplugged from factory. Let's just turn the AC of the car on. You want to check firstly that the head unit does power up. So that's a good start. And then we want to check that we have sound coming through the speakers, that the radio works, the steering wheel control works, and the reverse cam works. So straight away I can see the steering wheel controls are working, tested those.
I think the first thing I learned is
you can hear the radio is working.
Locally.
Put the brake on, put the car in reverse, and we have the reverse camera working. Into park and out of park.
Not there.
So you got to see that's gone away now. So that you got the head unit just like sitting down on the white box that it came with. And what we're going to do is just tidy and just make sure the wires are tidy. So we've found the external mic seems to be best, which we've mounted here. But if you don't have the external mic plugged in, it's going to use like the factory mic on the unit. Otherwise, on some models, you can see hanging out here out of the plug here, there's another like mic plug. So this mic plug can be plugged into the other mic, female plug, and this does use the factory mic. So you can test that and see what it's like. We do find the external mic to be the best. So for tying up the cables, I'll tape this back. I'll tape up the like USB cables just to like make them a bit tidier, and then the rest of the cables you can just like bunch up together, because having them a bit like loose is quite good, because you want them to sort of sit down and then drop into the cavity there. And last but not least, don't forget to plug the hazard plug back in. It's a little bit tight, you've got to sort of like plug it in as you're putting the head unit back in. So we will plug that in as we put the head unit back in. So we'll slide the head unit back in now. Just going to plug that hazard switch in because it can just reach. And I'll put the main 20-pin harness plug back in. Again, just check last that all our plugs are in tight. Everything's in there. So now you basically just want to tuck everything back in. Like I said earlier, it's handy if you can get everything up and to drop down into that little cavity behind there, and everything can drop down quite nicely. Let's get this box out of the way, which has served its purpose. Obviously leave the aircon plug out there. Now we're just going to slide everything back in. So it can be handy to get your hand up in there and just make sure everything's going to not block behind the head unit. So you can get up into there to make sure nothing's, you can't see anything that's going to be getting in the way there. And then all we want to do is push the head unit on both sides all the way around and give it some good pushes. Make sure it goes in well. Check that your like sides are looking pretty flush. And that's almost it. So your aircon back in. Now this is a single din unit behind here. It's like lighter than the original, and it says like reinforced like plastics. So those are like 4 bolts that are under there. You can just put them back in and like leave them in there, or you can like leave them out. It's up to you. We do have some people who do want to modify the original brackets on the original head unit. You can do that, and then like use the original brackets to mount onto the single din head unit, but it is strong enough to hold itself without doing that. That's it, that's the head unit in. As per usual, just turn everything on, double check that it's all working. Take off the plastic screen protector. So we got the steering wheel controls are working. The radio's working. Put it in reverse. Make sure the reverse camera is working. Now you might notice that the door is on the right side, that's good. So that's everything done. Then sometimes people want to just change the apps down the bottom. So your next step is probably going to be getting your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to work. So Z-Link is the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay app, and we have other videos showing you how to hook to those. Before. So you can change the apps down the bottom to what you want. And then in here, if you go into settings, into car settings, personal settings, you can change some settings here. You can see how the screen dims when the lights are turned on and comes back up. Just for a video this. So one of the first things you do is you'll just obviously go into Bluetooth here. Turn the Bluetooth on your phone. Yeah. You see it pop up here. And you only have to do this once. Yeah. And then it's all good. And then, say your wife or someone jumps in the car. Yeah. She'll just have to. It'll come up in paired, and she'll just have to choose her one because it'll try to join to the last one it's joined to.
Okay.
Yes, if it doesn't come up the first time, sometimes you just need to turn your Bluetooth on your phone off and back on. And then it'll search again. There we go.
That's good, yeah. So I'm gonna pair it, then same for her as well.
Same for her, yeah, exact same process, yeah. And then you'll see when you jump in, it'll come up over here, and the one you click on will go green.
Okay. And this one just... this is the hazard.
Yeah, hazards, yeah. We just go, and then on your phone here.
What would show up in there?
That'll be called CarKit K. And it's got a password of 4 zeros. Yeah. And then your phone goes green over here if it's connected.
Okay.
And then Z-Link is the Android Auto app.
Do you reckon that one or not?
Yeah, this is good. Android Auto. Do you use Android Auto? Have you used that before?
No.
I'll show you what it is.
Oh, this one can up. Okay.
Yeah. I might actually, hang on. I might have had
So what's this one? This soft that
this is just it's just the app that's you see saying use CarPlay.
Yeah.
It's just an app that this head unit's running to run CarPlay. So when you jump in the car, this is what's going to pop up now.
Yeah. What's the speed of this one? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, it should be pretty good. It looks. This is using Waze, so you can use Waze or you got Google Maps as well.
Yeah.
Or Apple Maps are actually quite good now.
Okay.
And then Spotify obviously is pretty handy to have.
Yeah.
So now when you jump in the car, that'll just pop up automatically.
Yeah.
So that's wireless. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Wireless car.
That's the unit there all installed. See down here with our extra USB port we put in. External mic. The unit's good to go. You have wireless Android Auto and CarPlay. All your factory features will be working. And a great upgrade to any 2014 to 2017 Prado.